And by organization, you mean me. Uh-oh. Oh, the volume's off. Whoopsies. No, 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 no. We won't. Quick. Alright, so it should show up in like, I don't know, 2 minutes or so. Uh, we won't be casting. We won't be casting in, like, in the client. Nobody would be able to watch us in client. They have to watch through the stream. Should be fairly soon. I know that they're not in a lobby yet, so. Test 1, test 2.
All right, let's try this. Yeah. Woo! try this.
Okay, so I can hear that.
Alright, mic check. How's that?
Yeah, you're good. I just wanted to make sure I didn't hear you on the stream, but that's because I had the speaker.
Oh, I'm not, Your mic's cutting out, by the way. Alrighty. Ugh, awkward. Dyke Arena. Okie dokie. Testing. Alright, sweet. We're good to go. How does that sound? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Perfect. Oh, so perfect. Awesome. Sound good. Alright, let's do this, Nish.
Unmute my microphone, turn off the text stream, open up Dota.
So good, dude. You're a VP fan, huh?
I like all the team logos and such. I love all the pro teams. Big supporter of all esports. So, all right, cool.
That was very
Jumping right into it. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this installment of the Join Dota League. I believe Stage 2 or Level 2, whatever that may be. I'm Rafi Dodo. We're here casting the Astral Authority game against World's End, and joining me is Tabs. Tabs, how you doing?
Tapes, but that works too. Great. Doing great. Feeling great.
All right, so going right in here, jumping into the picks and bans, we already see that Astral has banned out the Shadow Fiend and the Queen of Pain, two premier mid heroes that we've seen a lot of in the current meta. Likewise, with World's End going ahead and banning out the Slardar and the Doom, also very common picks in the meta. So, talk a little bit about what you see in the bans here coming out from both teams, what that sets the stage for looking at these picks.
Well, I feel that a lot of this new meta is based on, let's see, armor reduction, as we spoke of before. So I think that for Astral Authority banning out the Shadow Fiend and really just cures Ember Spirit in the and then World's End obviously seeing that meta of the armor reduction banning out Slardar, who is huge in this patch. I have never seen him played as much in any patch as I have this patch, which is good because I think he's a very well balanced hero. Right here, picks from World's End are Ancient Apparition and Earthshaker, a very big combo, obviously. Very famous from the $6 million Echo Slam from this year's International, which was glorious to watch in real time, by the way. Big ban on the Alchemist. That Acid Spray in mid has just won so many people games, even in pubs. It's just a great strategy. So I think that's very wise of Astral Authority to go ahead, especially since he's a hero in this patch that can just win a game.
Absolutely. Alchemist, huge flash farmer. Not something that Slayer's going to want to deal with there. Frozen actually drafting for Astral Authority now in place of BSJ. Really enjoying the Bane pickup. It's something that we see a lot of out of them. Now the real question that I have to ask myself is it going to be Frozen on the Bane, or are we going to see the new player Godlike on this hero?
I think it's going to be an interesting pick either way. He's a hero that can be used in many different ways. Very dynamic. He could be team fights as an initiator. A lot of CC, individual CC at that too, especially if you can play your nightmares correct. So it's going to be interesting to see play out of this, especially against an Earthshaker or an Ancient Apparition.
So
How about Ember?
That actually just what I was going to get into. So the Ember Spirit pickup with the first pick, interesting. I know that they didn't want it to get banned out, so that's why they picked it up first. Now, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be Slayer in the mid lane on the Ember Spirit, but I'm actually leaning towards thinking that it's going to be BSJ playing the Ember Spirit in the safe lane with the Bane support. I know that this is a hero that BSJ has been practicing a lot recently on his stream and in the scrims with the team. What do you think, looking at the two supports that we have now in the current lineup of Astral Authority, where do you think this Ember Spirit's going to be going?
I definitely feel that he's a hero that, when played and farmed correctly, can be just turning. Even if at the beginning you get a slow start and you get some solid farm through the mid game, he comes alive in the late game. Well, he's very utilitarian, if you will. So I think that, oh, well, Gyrocopter coming out as well. That's going to be interesting to see who plays that. But I feel like Ember Spirit is definitely going to go to BSJ. However, there is some new interesting strategies coming out right now. Ember Spirit is, like I said, a very utilitarian hero, so I honestly would not be 100% surprised if they gave it to Lokarn in the offlane.
We have been seeing a lot of switch-ups. We saw Lokarn solo laning the Brewmaster a few nights ago in the safe lane as well. Juggernaut pickup from World's End and a fast Dazzle pickup from Astral Authority. I'm actually amazed with the weave as strong as it is that Dazzle made it through all these bans. Interesting bans coming out of World's End with the Undying, the Phantom Lancer, and the Tusk. I suppose that not
Right.
picking up on that Gyrocopter pick, they thought that the Ember Spirit and the Bane were going to be completely centered around massive team fight heroes. Obviously, Ember Spirit and Undying.
To ban out that Phantom Lancer, I mean, I can see where they're coming from, but in the same regards to Dazzle, I think that, yes, if used correctly, he can be a really big impact, but at the same time, do you want to use the ban on a support? The real question. All right, last picks. What are you feeling right now? Like World's End's gonna kind of need another hard carry. Wouldn't be surprised if I saw Spectre here, especially since they took away their Shadow Fiend. But Huskar
Wow,
also
Huskar
very
pickup.
good. Looking to don't know how that's gonna go. Definitely seeing against that Dazzle, but again, Huskar very big in this patch. Let's see, who do we think we're gonna find last for Astral Authority?
Well, they have taken the Dark Seer away, so if the Ember Spirit's not going to the offlane, this is going to be Lokarn's hero. They already banned out the Queen of Pain, which we've seen him play on the offlane before. It's quite possible that they give him the Brewmaster. That is a hero that he's enjoyed playing recently. They did also ban out the Tusk.
Tusk is true, but see, here's an interesting. The Initiator is missing from this fight, so maybe a Clockwork or even a Pudge. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, Pudge is something that Lokarn is very, very familiar with, even back in his older days. So it'd be interesting to see right here. This last pick, obviously a lot of thought going into it. Who do you pick here?
I like the idea of the Clockwork pickup. The Clockwork pickup allows you a good amount of initiation. It's strong offlaner like Lokarn, obviously going to be able to stay relevant even when facing that difficult offlane situation. I like the lockdown that Clockwork presents with this team, especially with the combination of the Searing Chains and the Call Down, along with the Weave as well. You've got a good amount of crowd control from the Bane. I think Clockwork's a really smart pickup here, but it'll be interesting to see what Astral goes with, as they only have about 55 seconds left, and it looks like they might want to use all of it to decide how to deal with this last-minute Huskar pickup.
There's questions as to what you want to have to kind of roll right now. Magnus in the off lane could be surprising, but then again, another hero that Lokarn is very familiar with. More crowd control, I don't know, even. This is definitely using a lot of their time. I don't blame them either. This is a pick.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited to see what they draft.
They're going to need something that can absorb a fair amount of damage. You get the Ember Spirit and the Gyrocopter, not very tanky heroes to begin with. Dazzle does have the heals. A Razor pickup, so we're actually going to... It looks like we are going to see Lokarn possibly on that Ember Spirit in the offlane.
Oh, no,
or it's going to be a Razor offlane, unless they plan to switch up heroes once the...
Offlane Razor... I guess that's good with his Purge ability. Definitely whenever he's single targeted, it slows them down. But at the same time, there's not a lot of single target going from right here on World's End. Away we go, eh?
Pause coming out of Frozen from Astral. So no switches up yet. We do see Frozen on the Dazzle, Godlike on the Bane, BSJ manning the Gyrocopter, Slayer on the Ember Spirit, and it is looking like it's going to be Lokarn on the off-lane Razor. Meanwhile...
Boys, I mean, you can win a lot with that Plasma Field. That's so great for early game last hitting as well. I know it's a little mana costly, but I want to stack a couple of Clarities on him and let him just kind of sit back just to see how aggressive the safe lane is bottom for him.
Meanwhile, on the Radiant side of the map for World's End, we have Mr. Thinger on the Juggernaut. We have 40... I see 42nd. All right. We have JC Dota on the Earthshaker. We have Icy on the Darkseer, and we have Koss on the Ancient Apparition.
I feel like a lot of focus is going to go into this 42nd player here, especially kind of securing him some farm. Not a lot of fear damage coming out from the side of Astral, but then again, some armor redux with this Dazzle. A lot of control as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how they maneuver. All in all, I think Huskar was a good pick for World's End.
I think that if they do send the Huskar into the middle lane here against the Ember Spirit, Slayer is probably going to have a difficult time, especially dealing with the Flaming Spears. I do think that in order to combat the Huskar, making sure he doesn't get a lot of farm, there's going to have to be good timing, rotation, and rune control coming out of Astral. Especially with the Bane, that crowd control is going to be crucial in getting that Huskar down. Along with Dazzle, might see some good rotations coming in, maybe a heal bomb, maybe a little poison touch.
Right. Well, something that Astral has to be very aware of right here at the beginning of the game, Killing Touch from Ancient Apparition. A lot of teams are using it to secure runes, and at the same time, if it's not well thought out by the other team, that Shielding Touch really amplifies the damage output, an additional 50 damage flying out per attack, so... Bottom right here from Frozen rushing in to go ahead and block that pull camp for Lokarn. Well, looking like nothing really too crazy is going to happen. Darkseer roaming up, seeing if he can get that Observer Ward down in time. Down for Frozen and the Dire, blocking that camp. Like we're going to have a battle right here at bottom rune. They want to shift now that they see him there is the question. Oh, BSG spotting out the Darkseer. Look at that. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and rotate up to that top rune, knowing where the 4 of the 5 are there at bottom. And I think wisely so, especially with that Earthshaker fit. Very excited as we get to start here. This is this their first game under Astral?
So this is the first game from the switch from Stratos to Astral. I don't see any smokes out on either team, so not looking for any kind of fights, just looking to secure the runes. It looks like Astral's going to go ahead and forfeit the bottom rune, and both teams are going to be able to snag a rune on whichever hero they so choose. Looks like Astral's going to probably choose to give this one to Slayer, knowing that he's going to have the harder mid lane. Juggernaut.
We're going to have a Juggernaut mid.
That is what it's looking like. Interesting to see. I guess in order to secure the farm for the Huskar, they want him in the safe lane.
That build we were talking about. That's a beautiful kit and whoever drew. Alrighty, and away we go. Mr. Thinker going in really aggressively on this Ember Spirit, trying to bully him from the lane. Fisher coming out. Unfortunately on the wrong side right there. And then we're going to have a Rayman off lane. On the Huskar right now is Lokarn with the Static Link, going to try and bully out the Ancient Apparition from the field right now. Might get a kill right here, see it early, steal enough damage. However, bullied him out of the lane, taking some damage of his own right there is Lokarn. And Astral getting, or Slayer getting worked right here in the middle from this Juggernaut. Melee's in the middle, you don't frequently see that, so... Boy.
An interesting turn of events going into the laning phase. We have BSJ solo laning against the Darkseer. And then we have what appears to be an aggressive tri-lane here in the bottom with Lokarn, Godlike, and Frozen. Again, not exactly what we expected, but still effective. Those are the heroes, we were talking about that needed to get the hits in on that Huskar.
Well, coming up from behind right now is the Earthshaker, maybe trying to land a Fisher, trying to get some space for his Huskar. No, getting spotted out right now by Frozen, bullying him away right now. Like I said, they're focusing, making sure that this Huskar doesn't get a lot of farm. Darkseer pulling the lane right now on top, trying to get himself some farm against this beat. Gyrocopter.
Mid lane Slayer in a little bit of trouble. Pops the Flame Guard. Juggernaut's going to back off.
Yeah, this Gyrocopter on top lane is looking to have a pretty hard time with this dual Ion Shell build. Dazzle picking up a bounty, Ember getting that illusion. We have a bottle coming out right now on Ember, purchasing it. Well, Huskar's having a hard time on this safe lane. I think it was a good decision to try this off lane, which surprisingly you're seeing a lot in this patch. It seems as though the off lane is the lane that you really want to kind of farm your main heroes on. Black Cannon on top. Slayer taking some damage right now. Having a lot of rotations out from this Earthshaker. Trying to secure the lane for this Juggernaut. Huskar's having a hard time at bottom. I feel like we're going to have a courier delay for this bot. Yeah, let's talk about this lane breakdown.
An interesting turn of
going on Mr. Finger right now. Looking to burn him down. Is it going to be enough? Gets him right there. Sleight of Fist, securing him the kill. Very big for Slayer, obviously. Bottom lane action happening right now. Lokarn going with a Static Link on Huskar, trying to bring it down. Is it going to be enough? It is. Razor claiming the kill on Huskar. Maybe getting this one on Earthshaker too. Almost stole just enough damage. 101. That is humongous, especially for this early game with these low HPs. Well done by Astral right now, securing 2 kills within a minute. Ooh, they better be scared. Make sure that they kind of focus on this, Ooh, top being farmed out pretty heavily from Flat Cannon and Rocket Barrage. Frozen getting moved on by Huskar, though he has the healing. Grass going down. Looks like we might see a fight here in the forest. A ward coming down right now, revealing. Godlike stuck in the middle, nightmaring on the Huskar, trying to get a position. Static Link goes through the nightmare, looking to try and bully who they can. They might get another kill right here on the Huskar. Razor with 2 kills. Well done by the support, securing him that. World's End better be careful here. They're very dependent on their farm, especially in the early game. Not a lot of bounce back heroes, so they better really be cautious. Focus more on the bottom lane instead of letting Shaker roam towards this middle. Not getting himself out of the bottle right now. Talk about last hits. Banana Slamma Jamma is doing great right here on his safe lane. 5 last hits, 5 denies. 19 and 2, and there were 20 and 2 in the middle right here. Lokar not necessarily too many, but he's right in the median with 2 hero kills, so off to a great start is Astral.
Looking like we're setting up the base for a stomp here. Astral currently sitting at the top 3 positions on the net worth chart. All of their cores. Slayer followed by Lokarn followed by BSJ. Huskar rotating in up
Looks like
top.
they're going to switch it. Oh, and they're going to move the supports right now to kind of help out Banana Slamma Jamma. Huskar getting harassed a lot at the bottom right now. I think that's a good rotation. Darkseer going down the bottom. Trying to see if they can get their Huskar any form of farm. A big 4-0 start in the first 5 minutes right now for Astral. Coming out the gates pretty strong, but this is a long game, so see how this goes.
Rotation coming in mid. Mr. Thinger coming back in. Slayer a little low. Bottle is empty. Does have the double damage room available to him. Pops the Flame Guard. Juggernaut just going to Blade Fury away.
Jay farming out the pooled. Looking like they're going to go ahead and flip it. Darkseer now is solo in the safe lane.
Mid lane.
Rotating around the supports.
Earthshaker moving behind.
They're in trouble right now.
Slayer, Remnant's back. The Jukes.
Juketown population Slayer. Delicious gameplay right here.
Frozen rotating in, and fortunately going to find himself a regen rune. Frozen going to run into Icy in the bottom lane.
That's huge. Karn pulling the creeps down. We're pulling behind the tier 1. A lot of top 3 last hits right now. Or, oh, never mind. Are from
JC Doma moving in. Do they see BSJ?
Are they going to be able to...
Godlike does spot out the Earthshaker.
Right now.
BSJ looking like he might want to get out.
Right now in this moment, that chilling touch like we were talking about, going to go ahead and get 2 kills right now. Is Godlike going to be able to follow up Frozen, finding it? I don't think they see him, and he's going to go ahead and get out. Getting their first kill, World's End. You got to start somewhere on BSJ. Juggernaut also going down there. I don't know if we saw it there in the middle while we were watching that. Slayer brought down Juggernaut. Don't really know how that happened, so sorry about that. Ion shells at bottom are just treacherous. I think that BSJ did fort there and just went. Although he did loop around, so choice Slayer. Make a move on Slayer is the Earthshaker. We do have Omni Slash up. Oh, going in behind tier 1. He does have a Remnant down. Oh, TP. Fonts. Trying to stun him down. Is there going to be enough control? Negative. Lots of aggressive support plays right here by World's End. Don't necessarily know if it's working for them. Kind of spreading them a little thin, don't you think, Rafi?
Probably not going to work out well for them in the end. As you can see, the Earthshaker still just level 3, not really finding any farm, sitting at 0-1, only 6 last hits. So, as the game moves on towards the mid stages, we're going to find this Earthshaker incredibly underfarmed. And possibly not with his Blink Dagger. He's really not going to be able to make much of a contribution here past 15 minutes.
Oh gosh, another solo kill right here for Slayer. Getting another one on this Mr. Thing playing the Juggernaut. Having a hard time right here. Is this mid lane again? Juggernaut not necessarily known as a mid hero. It might come back to bite him. 8 kills in the first 8 minutes. Looking to make a go right here on the Earthshaker in middle. Gonna cancel out. What? What a juke with the Spirit! Oh my gosh, that was a great Remnant juke right there, dodging out the Fissure stun. Oh boy, Astral just playing on point right now. Lokarn taking some damage. Go ahead, I think go back to base for some lovin', having drums already, 9 minutes. And this is just going disastrously for World's End. Player getting 3 solo kills in middle, especially with supports. Juggernaut taking some damage from the neutral camp right now, although he has his ward down. Not necessarily too scary.
I think we're going to see Juggernaut die to neutrals here. No, he's going to bottle himself up.
Oops, seeing some action right now. Slayer making a move with BSJ, trying to bring down the 42nd. Gonna go ahead and get him. Darkseer finding himself, surging himself out, getting from behind. Frozen seeing some trouble. Multiple heroes going down with a beautiful wall vacuum combination. Frozen gonna go ahead and shallow grave himself out. Toss is in trouble. Oh boy, Astral is just putting it to him right now in World's End. It just seems that they can't get it together. A lot of energy coming out from Astral right now, which is great. They've been practicing a lot and it's showing, so. Damage logged on that tier 1 top, Mr. Thinger. Spotted out by that ward. Lokarn taking middle for a little bit. Not really going into his ultimate just yet. Eye of the Storm. Going to go ahead and put 4th level into Plasma Field, which I think is great because it's 370 damage at maximum, which you play it right. Getting caught out right here is Mr. Thinger, the jungle. Astral using his haste rune. Bring him down with playing Ember like a fiend right. Maybe looking to close something on this apparition. Dangerous though. Is he level 6? No. Look at this right here. BSJ in the Dire jungle, looking to get 2 multiple stacked creep camps.
Meanwhile, top lane, Bane trying to solo the Huskar, has the Fiend's Grip. Is he going to be able to get away? He throws down the Nightmare. Looks like he's just going to back off. Doesn't have the damage to actually get it done.
Playing some clean Dota right now, man. Pretty vicious. Looking to make a move here in middle. ISE going to get caught out by the Remnant jumping in. Is it going to be enough? They're going to shackle him, keep him into spot. And that Plasma Field, just like we talked about, doing some damage. Really well leveled at top right here. Looking to make a move on top. They're spotting him out. They're pinging him. Is it going to be enough? Do they have the CC? We don't even have a level 6 on Huskar yet. But we have an Ancient ult coming in right now. Gonna try and lock him into it. Are they going to be able to get another clean kill? 15-1 right now. No. Astral. Good game sense. Backs up. Looking to make a solo kill right here on Mr. Thinger at bottom is Lokarn chasing him with the Drum of Endurance. Is it going to be enough? Can he maintain vision through this tree line? No, seeing the TPs. Bane at top, meanwhile. Kill on Huskar. Astral is just making moves all across the map. Great game sense from them. Moving around, spreading World's End really thin. 98 last hits right now, 12 minutes into the game. Oh boy. Dota right here. Rafi at bottom. Lokarn in trouble. Trying to leash up. Causing as much space as he can. Bringing down. Getting a killing spree.
Procking that AA ult as well.
Top. Trading. Obviously seeing all the presence at the bottom lane. Net worth. Let's talk about that a little bit. 7,200. 7,300 on Ember. 7,000 on BSJ, and top 3 net worths right now are in favor of Astral. Now, as a competitive gamer, that's not something you want to see when you're playing against them. But there is rubber banding, so let's see how hard they can. They have the team fight to do it if they could get the initiations, but they're not getting the levels fast enough to really maintain. Trying to spot something out as Slayer at bottom lane. Finding the Darkseer. Trying to log as much damage as he can. Oop! Is it gonna be enough? He gets killed by that. Cold feet in. They're looking to turn on him right now as Astral Slayer trying to bring down Mr. Thinger with the ultimate call down. Getting a kill, really easy, and then it's looking like they're gonna get out. Looking to pursue right here is Lokarn, maybe trying to get that ISE kill. Doesn't know where he is, and he's gonna go ahead and secure it with that level 4 Plasma Field. Ah, man, being really clean right now is Astral. Rafi, how do you feel about this?
So I really think that this comes down to the draft and just overall level of skill here. Obviously, you have BSJ on this team. He's been in a pro situation before, not entirely sure.
Lokarn looking to bring down the Earthshaker, pursuing him uphill with that power leash really lets him know. Is he going to get a solo kill? He is. This is just vicious, like you were saying. That looks like difference in skill level.
Absolutely, and I really think that it goes hats off to Frozen there, especially on the draft. The interesting lineup. I think World's End putting this lineup together, they're looking for a specific pocket strategy, possibly something that they practice, and then Astral just able to completely turn their draft on its head, force them to play out of their comfort zone, rotate into different lanes. I really think this one is all on Frozen here. Excellent draft by him.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting spotted out at Roche with the Ancient Apparition. Oh, not going to be able to do anything really about it, so just rotating back to their normal form. BSJ acquiring vehicles. Meanwhile, everywhere is farming. You just can't gain space. Slayer looking to use that haste room right now on the Huskar. Is it going to be enough? No, he sees the damage output. He has the haste, though. Look like he's going to turn on the 42nd. That was an extremely good move. Taking a lot of damage right now from this. Oh, the Remnant jukes into the bottle charge. Slayer really seems to know what he's doing on that hero. Oh, getting spotted out by Slayer is the Earthshaker on very low HP. Feeling a little confident right now. Almost has his Battle Fury after his Boots of Travel. Here too, going down. BSJ claiming the bounty for that. Wow, it just seems as though World's End is getting dissembled right now. Huh. Sanj and Yash coming out for both Lokarn and BSJ on the gyro and Razor Pick. Lots of movement speed, you can't outrun them. That's the scary part. Also using those proximity AoE skills. BSJ looking to come behind Mr. Thinger right there, gets spotted out. Go ahead and just run away. But the Wolf gonna make it? Oh, did. Smart Wolf.
Astral just really taking this opportunity to just make sure to secure their lead, obviously not knowing quite how far ahead they are. They do have some idea, just farming out the jungle, trying to take away every opportunity World's End has to catch up here. Their nearest hero, World's End, 6,000 off the lead in terms of net worth. And really, it's just all over but the crying here for World's End.
Absolutely. You never want to see two boards have a higher net worth than the majority. Not necessarily good, BSJ. Your World's End right now. What do you think you want to do? Obviously try and smoke gank right now. Are they going to have the damage output right here with the two supports on the back line to bring down BSJ? Smoking in the tree line. They see him. BSJ going to go ahead and move in for a call down. Going to try and pick off some of their supports on the back lane. Oh, World's End doing some damage right now, getting caught out, but Slayer rotating in. Omni Slash coming out on BSJ, going to go down to the... Oh, but he has Aegis, going to go down to the Flaming Spears from the Huskar, trying to make some moves right here with the toggle. Right now, it looks like a 2-for-4 trade in favor of Astral. Not being able to get any space or any farm, it looks like, is World's End. I mean, you kind of have to try and make something happen right there with a smoke gank, but Astral just moving in quickly to shut it down. Going uphill. Astral trying to log some damage on that tier 3.
Probably not going to be Rax here. We do have two heroes up. Just coming in is the Earthshaker. Not going to be able to trap Lokarn and Slayer. Not even going to get him with the Ice Blast. Courier coming out, delivering a Medallion of Courage to Frozen, and giving a point booster there to Lokarn, looking to go for that Aghanim Scepter, be able to use Eye of the Storm, put some damage on buildings as they begin their slow, steady siege.
Slow and steady might not be the words here. They're just vicious right here with their attack, not letting up, foot on the throat. Make a move here on top. BSJ moving Rosen, getting a ward. Nice offensive ward. Caught out is Mr. Thinger. Is it going to be enough? Going to hit the weave. Well done. Catching him in the jungle, or in the forest, excuse me. Oh gosh, godlike streak going out right now for the Slayer. Playing ferociously. He's 10-0 right now, Roth.
This is one of Scott's better heroes. Slayer doing an absolutely phenomenal job on the Earthshaker. I haven't seen play this good out of him since this TA game against Denmark. Or excuse me, against Finland. Somebody in the Pro Dota National Cup. Gonna look to take out this top tier 3 tower. World's End not really able to do anything here. The wall is up on the Darkseer as well as the vacuum. 42nd. Gonna put some damage on Scott. They are gonna get the vacuum wall. Incredible vacuum wall out of the Darkseer. 42nd going down. JC Dota going down. Lokarn managing to stay alive. Slayer actually managing to remnant away out of that. And that's going to be a team wipe in favor of Astral. And there go the GGs.
That is, you can't do enough. That situation, that was all they had. Goodness gracious, clean game coming out from Astral. Even when you land the perfect combination, you're just so far behind in farm. It's just futile.
Absolutely. A lot of what we saw there on a World's End was just a lot of too little too late. They had a really good composition for team fight. As we saw down in the bottom lane, they did choose a very good team fight with their smoke gank. However, they did not account for the Aegis still on BSJ. BSJ sitting atop the net worth chart was able to come back with full health, full mana, do a lot of damage, and Lokarn joined in the fight right there at the end, managing to clean up all the rest of the kills. It was really no contest here for Astral Gaming, or Astral Authority, excuse me, as we see nobody higher on their team than 2 deaths. Just an absolute stomp.
That is crazy. That was some clean gameplay right there by Astral Authority. That was massive. Woo! Oh boy.
Alright, folks, we will be right back for game number 2. We're live. Alright everybody, quick break. Welcome back to this best of two in the Join Dota League, Astral Authority versus World's End. Game 2. We saw Astral Authority with a massive stomp in the first game. World's End trying to tie things up, see if they can answer. Looking like a new stand-in here, replacing JC Dota. We see the Shadow Fiend ban coming out of World's End, not wanting to deal with the negative armor, and so we see a first ban Doom coming out from Astral Authority. What do you think we're gonna see here in terms of lineups? Just looking at the ban so far.
I think that if you're playing as World's End right now, you really want to focus on that early game. So the ban's coming in a little different order, but looking relatively the same. World's End stealing that Ember Spirit that they just got dominated by played by Slayer last game. I really feel that World's End here is going to draft more to combat in the lanes rather than trying to combat for securing farm in the late game. Because I really felt that they drafted that last game to secure farm, where they were just dissembled by Astral Authority.
Is an interesting pickup of the Ember Spirit here by World's End, simply because I don't really think of Ember Spirit as such a high-intensity early-game hero that we would want to see out of World's End, similar to somebody more team fight-oriented like the Tusk or the Undying.
Ooh, at the same time, though, you give up the Wind Ranger prick to Astral Authority, and I know that they have a lot of players on that team that can play that hero in multiple roles very well. So, interesting pick, Dazzle, again, coming out first.
We're seeing a Bounty Hunter pick coming out of World's End, interesting, followed by an immediate Gyrocopter ban, respect to BSJ. So, we see two agility heroes coming out of World's End so far. Not quite sure if this is going to be a support Bounty Hunter, possibly an offlaner. Right now, I'm really liking the setup of Astral Authority's draft. The Dazzle, obviously, always a good solid pick, especially in this meta. Weave, such a great ability. Wind Ranger, very versatile hero. They could actually end up pushing this hero into a 4 role if they actually had to. Wind Ranger could also end up in the mid lane with Slayer.
Well, banning out the Darkseer is Astral Authority. The World's End did have some great plays with the Darkseer that last game. However, it wasn't enough, just basically due to farm. I'm sure under different circumstances it could have gone differently. Banning out the Lich is World's End. What are you focusing on right now if you're Astral Authority and you saw how World's End played?
If I'm Astral Authority, I'm not looking to change a thing. You already know that your skill level is that much more than your opponent's. You already have a psychological advantage. They went for a pocket strategy in the first game, trying to get an advantage on Astral, and they were completely able to dismantle that draft, force them to move lanes into uncomfortable positions. I think if you're Astral Authority, you pick your draft. Obviously, you're watching carefully what they're doing, but you just play your game and stay within your comfort zone, and I think you've got this one in the bag easy.
Very well put. I think that is an astute observation. Astral, knowing they play well. Two returning heroes in Bane and Dazzle for Astral Authority, and we don't see any returning heroes right now for World's End, so I feel like World's End's looking to maybe shake it up, change it completely, since it went so disastrously for them the first game.
A Witch Doctor pickup.
Bounty Hunter's eyes don't move. They just blur. You ever notice that? It's like stretching the skin.
Interesting.
Witch Doctor, like you were saying, depth for World's End.
An Alchemist coming out for Astral Authority. Very interesting pickup. So it looks like Astral is going to be the team that's looking to push this game quickly and efficiently. Great Flash Farmer Alchemist. Interesting not banning it out coming out of World's End. They did choose to ban the Lich support, which was an interesting call.
Absolutely. I think Alchemist just kind of slipped through the cracks right there. Astral really capitalizing on it. Oh, this is going to be interesting to see because obviously you see the acid spray in middle. How are World's End going to counter it?
Well, this Ember Spirit doesn't necessarily have to go mid. They could pick up a more mobile middle lane hero, or they could pick up some type of high armor. They could also run a dual lane in the mid if that's something that they've practiced as well. However, very possible that they could end up kicking themselves for letting this one slip through the cracks and catching them off guard. Another thing that comes out of Astral Authority is oftentimes they'll pick the same heroes but use them in different ways, an incredible psychological tactic. So we could actually end up seeing Frozen on the Bane and Godlike on the Dazzle.
It's going to be interesting to see who this last pick is coming out for Astral Authority, as well as these two picks for World's End. Seeming a little stumped right now after that Alchemist pick. World's End really taking their time to draft the last two players right here. Obviously going to be their core. Who do you pick against Alchemist?
If I'm Astral Authority, or excuse me, if I'm World's End, I'm looking at this Alchemist pickup. First off, with the Wind Ranger, the early Wind Ranger pickup, I'm trying to figure out where this Alchemist is going to be and how am I going to pick around that. Obviously a dominant mid-laning hero with that acid spray. I'm also looking to shut the Alchemist down, keep him from farming so fast, or at least get him off to a slower start in that early game. Tidehunter, a good teamfight hero. It kind of looks like World's End, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to counter Astral's drafts, or just going for some type of wombo combo. Not sure if the Bounty Hunter is going to be support. If not, possibly a roaming bounty hunter just looking for crit damage, bursty style. This last pick for World's End really going to define the draft for them and what we see. It'll be also interesting to see what Astral's going to do to complement this lineup. Obviously already have their supports. This last pick really just going to define the laning roles of the heroes.
Got the Razor right here. Astral Authority, decent. I think it's a good idea, especially with that leech on a Wind Ranger or Alchemist. Really kind of renders them moot. So I think it's a clean ban. Astral Authority, again, looking to get their last ban, is World's End. Who do you ban out right now? Viper. Good decision. That's slow. Hard to get away from.
I think the Viper is an interesting ban, but almost a waste of a ban because you know that you already have two mid-laning heroes. You know, possibly this showing World's End not really doing their homework. Viper is almost never picked by Astral Authority. Not really a hero that's high in their repertoire. The Wind Ranger or the Alchemist is definitely going to be the one to take mid. I don't think that they would have thrown a Viper into that mix. So World's End possibly mentally a little shaken, not really thinking as well as they should be. I honestly am going to come out and say I think the Viper's a waste of a good ban.
Well, I can definitely see where you're coming from. In general, against this draft, I would say it was clean. But again, if they didn't do their homework and seeing Astral Authority not really playing Viper too much, I would have to agree with you on that good ban. There's many heroes that I would ban over Viper against Astral Authority. Astral Authority, mulling around their last pick. I'm hoping to see some crowd control here, you know? Obviously, World's End has the Tidehunter. Some Fort of Control coming out would make it very disgusting.
Bristleback.
Okay.
So,
alright, so I guess...
interesting to see whether BSJ will end up with which of the core heroes. I do know that BSJ plays quite a mean Bristleback. Bristleback also a very good offlane hero. And
absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see how World's End chooses to respond. Again, much like last time with that Razor pickup, I really do not think that this was something that they were expecting or even remotely planned for.
Absolutely, especially with the damage AoE.
Well, Venomancer pickup is a fairly decent answer to the bristleback problem. Uh, really good at dealing with the alchemist regen as well. So I think we're gonna have to see. I think we're gonna have to see a fast orchid coming out of Slayer, some way to shut down these big playmaking heroes, Witch Doctor, Tidehunter, and Venomancer.
Right, so it looks like we're going to see Slayer on the Wind Ranger. And Lokarn are going to take Bristleback. Interesting.
Frozen.
Well, last game.
Say again.
Oh, I was going to say last game we just saw 42nd on a hard carry at bottom, and now he's playing, it seems, the Venomancer, so it's going to be interesting to see how their lanes work out. Again, Frozen TPing into the top lane. Going to get that lane ward down.
Looks like we're actually going to switch it up again. An interesting laning choice by Astral here. Looks like we're going to have BSJ in the middle lane on the Alchemist. Lokarn probably going to move into that off lane with the Bristleback. Not sure where Frozen's going to end up. He is in that off lane right now, securing the warding position for his good buddy Lokarn. Godlike possible to go with BSJ. Slayer might be safe laning by himself down here with the Wind Ranger. It's possible that we see maybe a dual lane mid. So we see Icy on the Tidehunter, Koss on the Witch Doctor, Mr. Thinger taking the Ember Spirit, and 42nd on the Venomancer, Paladin, the new stand-in replacing JC Dota on the Bounty Hunter, moving invis through the jungle, possibly looking like we're going to see a support Bounty Hunter here, as he does have the Observer Ward. He did go boots first, however. Slayer being spotted.
Dire team.
So it looks like they're going to easily be able to secure this top rune for BSJ. Icy not even going to make an effort there. Mr. Thinger or 42nd going to be able to secure this bottom rune for themselves as well. It will be interesting to see what this Venomancer ends up being.
Oh, look at this. Trying to steal the rune is the Bounty Hunter, but they have it sentry warded. Very good preemptive thinking right here. Making a move. They might get First Blood and Bounty. Nope. Gonna make sure they get the Bounty rune.
So it looks like we are going to see this Ember Spear mid, and he is going to have a difficult time here against BSJ, though he did go Grievel's Greed first for the benefit of the Bounty rune in the beginning. But as soon as that Acid Spray comes online, Mr. Thinger is going to find himself in a not-so-fun situation. Koss possibly going to be providing support here in the mid lane, as we see Godlike here with BSJ as well. Godlike in a little bit of trouble. Cass coming out, and the Flame Guard is going to help Mr. Thinger draw First Blood as Godlike goes down in the middle lane to the combined forces of the three heroes there.
Those cask bounces, though.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, 42nd possibly regretting his Venomancer pick a little bit. Slayer taking heavy advantage of how squishy the Venomancer is. He does have a lot of regen, but Slayer just using that wind run to his advantage.
Oh boy.
Gonna go ahead and force out that salve. Koss moving in to provide some support here in the bottom lane. Slayer is getting a little low. Meanwhile, on the top lane,
Lokarn on top as well, but obviously with his durability on that character, nothing too scared. Cast at bottom. Gale going out as well. Wind run, trying to
Slayer is under the effects of the poison touch, but he is going to be able to get away. Godlike moving in, coming out to support his friend. Tango being eaten by Slayer. And he's going to pop the salve as well, just going to go ahead and bite that bullet.
I think that's
Godlike.
wise. Obviously, against a Venomancer in lane, you want to stay at high health levels, especially with that Gale damage over time. You really got to make sure that combat that haste rune on Bounty. Very different start right here for Astral, whereas last game, World's End took a pummeling right off the bat, but Getting first blood is World's End with the cask bounces in middle.
2 minutes in, we already see BSJ at level 4, 2 points into the Acid Spray, 2 points into the Grievel's Greed. He does have a sentry down. He can see Paladin hanging around here, but he can't stay around for long. That Acid Spray doing a lot of damage.
Absolutely just disgusting. Although of all heroes I've seen play middle against Alchemist, having the most success would be Ember Spirit.
Bottom lane cast going down. Godlike moving forward, throws down the Nightmare onto Koss. 42nd looking like he's going to go down. Scott pops the wind run. Is he going to be able to get the kill? He will. Oh no, 42nd blocks it in with a Plague Ward. Is Slayer going to be able to get the kill here? He does manage to get the kill. Is it going to cost him his life? Koss coming in with the healing ward on. Scott just tanking that damage. Moving forward. Gets the kill with the power shot. Excellent play by Slayer.
Really knowing his limits right there in his hero. See, this is the difference of seeing somebody that plays a hero that they know they're comfortable with and somebody that just plays a hero casually.
Absolutely. And I think, again, as we were talking about in the first game, it shows the difference in the level of skill between these players. Good play there by the Venomancer, very cheeky, but ultimately Slayer, knowing his limits, knows he can get that kill, knows he doesn't have to back out.
Well, last hit chart, Alchemist at the top, which is something that you definitely do not want to see if you're playing as World's End right now.
Mr. Thinger trying to stick in there in the mid lane. Only about 700 behind BSJ.
700, 4 minutes in, though, is just colossal. Looking to make a move here on 42nd at the bottom.
Slayer moving forward. Is he going to pop the wand charges and try and get a power shot off?
Bell was on cooldown, unfortunately. I definitely would have thought that would have been a shot. Great play by that Gale going off at bottom, though. Really defensive.
Is going to force the Venomancer back to base, though. Middle lane BSJ with a double damage rune gets hit by the cask, trying to chase Paladin into the woods. He is going to manage to get away. Mr. Thinger and Koss just going to retreat back behind the tower. Amber Spirit dumping off his bottle to the courier. Possibly a little bit of lack of communication here on the side of World's End, as we did see the bounty hunter is securing the runes, but it doesn't look like the Ember Spirit's managing to gain any of them, as he did have to bottle crow there. Not quite sure what's going on the dire side.
This is just a classic example right here of snowballing. BSJ getting down the acid spray for both camps that both have stacks on them. With that acid spray, just really skyrocketing. Let's see, we are 5.5 minutes in and already 1,000 gold deficit in favor of BSJ on that Alchemist.
Bottom lane, Slayer already with the bottle at 5 minutes. Manages to narrowly misses a kill on the Venomancer once again. Manages to escape in the jungle. Did force out quite a few TPs.
Holy guacamole.
We see
BSJ
Paladin rotating again towards that bottom room. Lokarn in the mid. Paladin moving in on Slayer. Slayer, is he going to have to burn the wind run? He is joined up by Godlike. Paladin moving away. Just going to let Slayer escape. Not interested in fighting a 2v1. BSJ now closing in on a 2,000 net worth lead over the Ember Spirit.
Goodness gracious.
BSJ sitting at 49 last hits at 6 minutes. Is getting gone on. Searing Chains come out. Flame Guard is popped. 3 seconds left on the ultimate. BSJ is going to manage to get the ultimate away. Frozen coming in. And that would have been a huge kill for the Ember Spirit and World's End. BSJ, with the regen from the Chemical Rage, is going to manage to just be able to pop that acid spray, gain control of the middle lane back, grab all of these last hits, plus full Grievel's Greed bounties on all of them.
Bit of a misplay right there. At bottom, looking to go on E-Cost, though, is Godlike and Slayer trying to get those lucky cast jumps. Is it going to be enough this time? No, the RNGesus is not in his favor, being brought down by the Brain Sap. No, it was Windranger securing it. Going in behind Tier 1, looking to make something happen. Slayer, 40 seconds, caught catching himself. Oh, goodness gracious.
He's going to manage to bottle up and get out. Instant buyback possibly coming in from Koss. Throws down the cast. The wind run comes out. Paladin is there.
Those cast jumps. Oh!
Godlike with the incredible Nightmare is going to help Slayer escape with 19 HP. And this has just got to hurt so bad if you're World's End. Narrowly missing on 2 huge kills. You're sitting down only by 2, but they can't see the huge deficit they're in net worth-wise. BSJ up almost 3,000 gold on their top net worth leader.
Boy, going down to the Ravage. Lokarn getting caught out right there, getting a little cocky, thinking that he can do it. Didn't see that Mr. Thinker was rotating. Going to go ahead and get 2 out of this. Double kill from Mr. Thinker there. Just as we said, the snowball was getting a little out of control. They responded. The 2 picks making up for it right there. The middle one I felt was more of a misplay, though, because he had a spirit, a defensive spirit to get out, and then he threw 3, which is interesting, or he threw 2, and so he had to go back with that little half-second lull and have created the space for Alchemist to get out. Slayer in trouble at top again, looking to make a move. 40 seconds trying to land a Gale right here. Is it going to be enough? He does. Is the damage over time going to hold, though? Got the wand charges to survive. Okay. Farming his camps, as per usual. Toss. Spotting him out. Need his team to rotate in. I don't think BSJ sees it.
I don't know if it's that he doesn't see it or if that BSJ just doesn't care. Koss really not going to be able to do anything to this Alchemist sitting in his own acid spray.
Getting brought down in middle by the Ember Spirit. Godlike trying to respond. Responds into 4 teammates. Low. Just no escape available right now. No more TPs available either. Those are 2 big picks again by World's End being brought down. In the middle is Lokarn against that Ember Spirit. Really rotating to secure a lot of farm this time. All the while, Ember Spirit trying to contest net worth. Although Alchemist almost has a 3,000 gold advantage on him.
Mr. Thinger moving forward, trying to go on Slayer here. Pops the Flame Guard. Slayer gets the shackle shot off, is going to be able to move away. BSJ moving in. Mr. Thinger going to remnant onto the high ground. BSJ is unfortunately going to stun himself. Paladin with a double damage rune moving in. Koss, is he going to throw out the cast? There goes the cast. BSJ in a little bit of trouble. Chemical Rage still doing in work.
Oh!
Power shot coming in from Koss. He just misses the shackle shot. BSJ with the unstable concussion is going to manage to bring down the Witch Doctor. They do not see the Bounty Hunter, but there is a large rotation coming in from World's End. Is Slayer going to be able to get out? Remnant forward is Thinger. Throws down the Searing Chain. Slayer getting low. He is going to fall. And that's a 6-0 Ember Spirit.
No balling. Right here, World's End. Trying to make something happen on the backs of Mr. Thinger. Lokarn in trouble with the slow coming out of the gush. Ravage going in. Gonna try and CC him in tough. Is it gonna be enough? Witch Doctor gonna go ahead and throw a cast out. The hops just seem to be enough. RNGesus is on the side of this Witch Doctor. Instantly into a smoke. Good lord, World's End wants this one.
Smoking in.
Spotted out. We have a track right now. Huge econ swing available. BSJ getting stopped by 3 heroes. So much CC. So
2
much
TPs coming in from Astral. Mr. Thinger already there. Frozen. This could be devastating. 40 seconds getting off the ult. Frozen goes down. Slayer possibly soon to follow. Is he going to be able to get a kill before he falls? He's not. Godlike throwing the Fiend's Grip up onto the Witch Doctor. Lokarn trying to do what he can, but the Witch Doctor not going to fall either. Godlike going to go down to the Bounty Hunter. Lokarn going to get a consolation kill on the Witch Doctor, not able to deny himself to neutrals first. Lokarn getting stunned up is going to inevitably fall to the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter stealing quite a few kills here. You'd think you'd want to let the Ember Spirit have those kills, continue his snowball. He did manage to get one kill out of that fight, and this is going to be a Tier 1 tower for World's End, who's starting to take a lead here. Gold advantage in their favor at about 3,000.
Oh, look at that little hump right there. Although you have an Alchemist, the one thing that Astral really has to pay attention is these track kills for the bounty. They are pretty vicious. Radiance out on BSJ. World's End playing a lot leaner than we saw last game.
Absolutely, and the problem that I'm going to identify here with the World's End lineup is that they're absolutely dependent on those big spells, those big ultimates. And ultimately, once we get, as long as Astral Authority can move themselves safely into the mid-game, once this passes 30 minutes, World's End will almost be completely reliant on the Ember Spirit.
Trying to get those Ancients, BSJ. Really going to have to play a key role here in this bounce back for Astral.
You know, one of the unfortunate things about how this team operates, and oftentimes how a lot of good teams operate, you know that your offlaner is going to be a little bit underfarmed, or he's always going to have a tough lane. Hold that thought. Meanwhile, Slayer in the mid lane gets cast, gets tracked up. Cost popping the ult. Is it going to be enough to bring him down? Shallow Grave coming out from Frozen. Slayer throws out the Shackle Shot, knowing he's going to die, just stays in place, trying to get some damage down. Frozen going to go down as well.
Oof, that Gale. These slows
are
really proving detrimental.
A lot of kills on the Bounty Hunter. That fight, almost 1,800 gold going the way of World's End. Looking like they want to push a Tier 2 off the back of this. BSJ moving down on the bottom lane. Does have a Yasha in the stash. Looking to take a Tier 2 tower of his own. Lokarn also moving in on the Tier 2 tower in the top lane. Looking like they possibly want to trade 2 for 1 here. BSJ backing off, just moving into the jungle, is going to be spotted out by this ward here. TP's coming out on the top tower, forcing Lokarn back. And we see Lokarn here sitting at 1 and 4, and the unfortunate thing is that a lot of this early success of Stratos hinges on that off lane. Lokarn doing such a good job oftentimes of managing to stay relevant, keep his farm, or at least keep levels. Bristleback, we don't really see too much coming out of that hero without significant items, and so it's just unfortunate that he had such a rough laning stage in the early game. Otherwise, things could be going a lot different here for Astral.
I feel like one of the pitfalls of picking an Alchemist is that you have to farm. For a good chunk of the game, you must team fight 4v5 because it's not worth losing those potential gold for BSJ. BSJ being tracked up. Bounty Hunter looking to steal the room. Not going to get it. Oh boy. BSJ, a lot of trouble right here. Not going to be enough. Good amount of control and slow coming out right now. This stand-in Paladin really seeming to make an impact for World's End.
I see moving forward with the Blink Dagger onto Lokarn. In a little bit of trouble. Has the health to tank through it. Just needs to move backwards. All of World's End rotating forward. Now, I mentioned that the success of Astral often hinged on Lokarn's early laning ability. We see Icy sitting at 4-0 on that offlane Tidehunter, really benefiting World's End there. These heroes without deaths. Granted, 42nd had a rough laning phase along with Koss, but Icy and Mr. Thinger really managed to pull the rest of the team forward. And Paladin managing to cash in on some of those mid-early game kills, sitting at 3-0. Now finds himself with a little bit of farm.
It's just a Plague Ward party right here for this Venomancer. Brack really being effective. Who'd have thunk one ability could really flip Astral on their head? ISE. Trying to take the farm of Ancients upon the Radiant side.
The Venomancer we see already with a Veil of Discord.
That's gross.
Only at 17 minutes.
Getting some good farm.
Koss farming out the mid lane, has a point booster and an Ogre Club sitting in his inventory, looking to build into the Aghanim Scepter as soon as possible.
I think one of the major differences of these two matches that we're looking at right now is map control. The ability to have Bounty Hunter kind of meander about is really helping World's End to their rotation. So spotting out their own mistakes and their lack of vision, now capitalizing. If we look, all of the wards for Astral are on their half of the map. Spotting out. Dire side team. Clearing themselves that tier 1. Blitz pushing where they can. Paladin getting some more wards down.
World's End sitting at a 5,000 gold lead. We are starting to see the gold dip back towards Astral as we see Mr. Thinger. He does have the Battle Fury, but he hasn't really gone for any damage items here. And as they move into the mid-game, that's going to be crucial for him to be able to get rid of these big tanky heroes like Alchemist and Bristleback. Not going to be able to completely rely on the Venomancer ult or the Witch Doctor ult.
Well,
really, this entire... Go ahead, Tapes.
Oh, I was just saying that Manta coming out on the Alchemist right here. Also getting Boots of Travel really allows for the Rat to come into Authority. So now they were waiting for anything. Astral is now coming online.
Lokarn with the Vlads. Looking like this bottom tier 2 tower is going to fall. We see Guardian Greaves already up on the Bounty Hunter.
There's one thing that we're also seeing right here is it takes 5 heroes to bring down a tower, where for Astral it's only taking 2 map awareness. Ooh. They're going to make a move here. That's slow.
Lokarn moving forward. BSJ did manage to avoid the Venomancer ult. Venomancer going to follow Lokarn, trying to get out. Mr. Thinger moving forward does cancel the TP of Lokarn, and he is going to fall. The Ember Spirit sitting at 8-0. Sitting with 2,600 gold in the bank. Does have the ability to start building into the damage item that he's going to need to deal with Bristleback and Alchemist.
Absolutely. I think for sure you get a Desolator here.
And we are seeing that Astral definitely looking to take this a little later than World's End wants to play. Slayer opting for the Aghanim Scepter for the push rather than for damage first.
BSJ having both treads and pots in his inventory. Looking to split farm with his illusion.
BSJ in a little bit of trouble. Mr. Thinger moving forward. He is going to throw down that Acid Spread. Ember Spirit's just going to back off there. Interesting is BSJ did not have enough mana for the Chemical Rage at the time. Really going to have to watch his mana. While Ember Spirit may not have the damage items that he needs, he still does more than enough damage to bring down BSJ if he doesn't have that Chemical Rage available to him.
Absolutely. And although we're talking about map control here, it seems that all lanes are pushed in by Astral, doing a great job of being in multiple places at once, especially with those treads on Alchemist. Trying to keep them off their side of the map, which is where they're losing the majority of their fights, so... BSJ doing all he can with these Manta illusions.
Ultimate Orb up on the Ember Spirit. And, you know, I think what we're going to see here again is it's really going to come down to, does World's End have the skill, have the expertise to do what it takes to close out this game? They find themselves in a position, a good advantage, but it's starting to fluctuate a little bit, starting to float a little more back towards Astral as they start to come online a little more. Do they have what it takes to, you know, make that final push and really turn the dagger to end, you know, this game?
I agree. It's definitely scarier the more and more we get into the last game. Smoke Gank, though, for World's End, looking to make a move on Lokarn right now. Getting caught out, walking straight into him. Lokarn getting shallow grave after the Ravage trying to get out. Frozen being brought down. Both of them going down. Mr. Finger claiming on the Frozen Dazzle by himself. Meanwhile, Witch Doctor claims the kill on Lokarn. As again, rolling as 5, but at the same time, BSJ logging some damage on that tier 2. Trying to be in multiple places at once, which he's doing a great job of doing. Really trying to combat these. I don't know how much longer Astral can kind of just roam around, even on their side of the map like we're talking about. Looking to make a move uphill as World's End right now.
So they are going to go ahead and move uphill. Mr. Thinger doing a fair amount of damage to the tower. You've got the Venomancer there for the slow siege. BSJ probably going to be coming back here. The combined forces of Godlike Slayer and Frozen probably going to be more than enough to hold off this push, though BSJ is going to wrap around here. The problem that I have is that they chose to move in on Lokarn and use 2 of their ultimates, and there goes Kasa's ultimate right now. BSJ just going to manage to move through it, throws the Unstable Concoction. Kasa's going to fall as well. Mr. Thinger trying to remnant out as fast as he can, is going to TP. There is no stun to bring him down. BSJ just going to go ahead and farm away.
Ooh. Octarine Core making a hell of a difference right there for survivability on Banana Slamma Jamma, fighting in the Acid Spray and inside of his Radiance. That's a lot of HP coming back to him on that Octarine Core.
Absolutely. We see the double Perseverance already out on the Tidehunter looking for that double ult. And as I was saying before, when they went to combat Lokarn in the ancient area of the Radiant team, they chose to use the Venomancer ult and the Tidehunter ult for just one hero. Frozen trying to save his friend did fall. Not really worth that much, though. Not worth the double ults, especially when you're looking at a 150-second cooldown on the Ravage, and I believe a 120-second cooldown on the Venomancer ults.
Ooh, refresher online, as well as a Scotty for Ember Spirit.
A good amount of damage and health coming out for that Ember Spirit with the Scotty. Still not the amount of damage that they'd like to see, especially now with that Octarine Core on BSJ. They're going to have to be very careful about the engagements that they choose to take, because Mr. Thinger really can't solo BSJ anymore, especially with all of that health coming back to him.
Just dodging being spotted out right there was BSJ with the juke with the Quelling Blade. Great play by him. Looking to make a move on Roche. Is this right here? Are they going to get spotted out is the question. Ooh.
Slayer moving forward.
Look like it.
Roche really not falling fast enough for this to be that advantageous.
Ooh, they're going to get it clean, though. Well, clean is hard to say. Doing some damage right here to the tier 2 in middle. A lot of damage really quick right here. Oh, man. I don't know if Scotty was a good pick for Ember, especially if you were going to get Aegis. He's not really in the middle of the fights. He kind of jumps in late, so obviously it's for survivability and adding to the team slow. So, but again, the further the game goes, the less and less the pickoffs will occur. Okay, pushing in bottom lane.
Slayer now with a Blink Dagger offering him a little bit more mobility. Paladin moving out. Is he going to be able to find Slayer and get the track off? They do know he's there. Mr. Thinger going ahead and pop the Flame Guard. Just going to go ahead and take this creep wave out. Paladin is searching. Going to go ahead and throw up an Observer Ward. Not quite sure where they are on the hunt. Slayer going to go ahead and move out of the jungle. Possibly pinging out this enemy ward. Godlike does have 2 sentries. Is he going to put it down in the right spot? One already up on the cliff there.
Great wards right here.
Slayer moving down. BSJ moving into lane. Mr. Thinger just going to go ahead and remnant away. Looking for an Ags on the Venomancer. BKB coming out of Lokarn, going to give him a little bit more damage, a little bit more health.
We're going to see an uphill push right now. Or an attempt at it, at least. Interesting choice. They have both the ults. They have the Refresher Ravage.
They do have the Ravage. BSJ not spotted out. Is going to throw down the Acid Spray, which is probably going to get rid of this push. Interesting choice. Just taking out the 2 supports is going to manage to hit BSJ with that second Ravage, but ultimately they're just going to get pushed off of this, and they've already burned 3 ultimates. Really not the wisest play from World's End. BSJ moving a little too forward, is going to get hit by the cast, going to go down to Maledict. Unstable Concussion is online, going to go ahead and pop the Unstable Concussion, steadily gaining health back from that Octarine Core and the Radiance. He is going to manage to take the Aegis off of the Ember Spirit. Godlike back in the fight, throws down the Nightmare. BSJ just sitting in his Acid Spray. Mr. Thinger going to go ahead and move away with the Remnant. He's going to try to move back in. BSJ going to throw out the Concoction in time. Mr. Thinger going down very quickly. BSJ getting low. Is going to get guarded by Frozen. Slayer dropping as well. Mr. Thinger trying to get BSJ down. Radiance healing up BSJ. Paladin, is he going to go down to the Acid Spray? He is. BSJ just absolutely turning this push on its head. Venomancer moving out to the jungle. BSJ is tracked up, doesn't see Mr. Thinger TPing out there, lucky to escape with his life. BSJ absolutely turns that fight on its head. Really here, Tabs, I think it's about the ultimates that World's End is absolutely relying on. They're ironically just not being reliable in their use. Tidehunter, we saw, blew the Ravages very quickly, not necessarily in a good position. I mean, he has that Blink Dagger for a reason. Position yourself in a way that you can make those ultimates count. Meanwhile, middle lane, Lokarn moving in onto Kost. Kost just going to go ahead and blow the ultimate, TPing in his Paladin. He does get the track off. Venomancer TPing in as well. Lokarn maledicted. Does have the benefit of the Weave Armor. He's moving further into the jungle, just going to lead them to BSJ. They do have vision here from this Sentry Ward. BSJ moving forward is going to get the stun up on Paladin. Is he going to be able to do enough damage to bring him down in time? They do have a Sentry Ward here as well if he tries to go invis. Regen Rune down in the river. Not looking like anybody's going to do anything about it. Paladin going to move ahead and take it.
Absolutely. I think that as the longer this game goes on, the less effect these nukes have. Alchemist doing his job, BSJ, econing up the wazoo, really able to turn that fight around, and that's the thing with an Alchemist. If you let him econ that much, it's only going to get harder and harder to push uphill because he's just going to become crazier. AC coming out on him right now, he's going to start melting heroes.
BSJ is sitting at 10,000 gold above the Ember Spirit. Really going to have to be a team effort to take BSJ down. Even these Manta Illusions doing a significant amount of damage.
Heard that. Hanging on right now until the late game, looking like they're going to try and farm up until they can really initiate a team fight on their own. Until then, BSJ is going to continue to rat.
Double Ravage has returned for the Tidehunter. Chrysalis coming out on the Ember Spirit, finally seeing some of that crit and damage that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, pushing uphill though, right here in the middle.
No creep wave, not sure they're going to be able... Oh, they do manage to get the tower down. Are they going to try and push Rax here? BSJ immediately TPing back, throws down the Acid Spray. This is probably just going to... They're just going to leave, take the tower. I think it would be a mistake to try to force the issue here.
Tidehunter ult is on. Is off cooldown. Although Lokarn getting a big creep wave going up to tier 3 right now.
Remnant is available for the Ember Spirit. These Manta Illusions just going to make short work of this creep wave here.
I feel as though the window for World's End to end it is slowly diminishing. The bigger you let BSJ get, harder it's going to be without having to die back him.
And now with the Basher online, looking to come online for BSJ, he's going to be able to ditch those power treads. He's going to add Bash to his move set. It's just not looking that positive for World's End. I think feeling the strain there, they know that they have to make something happen. They did get hit by the weave. Lokarn popping the BKB, moving into the middle of the fight, going to start to tank some of that damage. Where is BSJ? First Ravage down. Koss going ahead and popping the ultimate. Lokarn turning his back is going to soak up most of it. Lokarn getting low, takes all 3 ultimates, is going to get graved up. Is he going to go down? Looks like it. BSJ moving into the fight. Unstable Concoction coming out. Radiance Burn doing work. Guardian Greaves coming out as World's End begins their retreat. So they are going to lose Lokarn, Astral is, who has the buyback still. Slayer and Godlike getting a little low there, but they do manage to successfully hold the racks.
Well, while that team fight was happening, BSJ almost completely took...
I see getting caught out in the Ancients. BSJ with the Unstable Concoction going to bring him down. Just a really unfortunate pickoff, not needed by World's End. He does have the buyback.
Well, it was BSJ during that team fight in the middle was taking down bot lane racks on the Dire side. Almost got both of them, but had to TP back since Lokarn went down. His illusion sat behind, but were shut down by the creep wave. That was some good map awareness coming out from BSJ. Interesting team fight. As we see that World's End, by looking at the map, kind of has an advantage here, but somehow Astral has the authority, no pun intended, to kind of maintain current positioning. Oof, Abyssal Blade coming out on this Alchemist.
We also see the MKB coming out on the Ember Spirit in hopes to deal. Meanwhile, in the jungle, BSJ getting hit by the cask. Unstable Concoction coming out on Koss. Is it going to be enough to bring him down? It is. With that Abyssal Blade locking him in place. Cannot find Paladin to get the kill. As I was saying before, Monkey King Bar coming out on the Ember Spirit in hopes to deal with Slayer very quickly. Does not want that high damage output coming out of the Wind Ranger.
Right. Ooh. Getting a pick solo.
2 seconds until Roche is up. BSJ moving in on 42nd is going to manage to get the kill. Unstable Concoction yet again, but not before he manages to buy his Blink Dagger.
Ooh, goodbye. Bane actually secured that with a Brain Sap right there. Interesting game right now going out. Lokarn. Hashtag space created. BSJ able to rotate in. Do some work right now. Backdoor protection, trying to hold up against the Alchemist as he slowly whittles away. Creep wave approaches. Go ahead,
Spirit.
back out.
Remnants away. BSJ looking like he's going to take this tier 2 tower with his illusions. No, it is going to get denied by the Witch Doctor.
These illusions,
Scepter
good gravy.
coming out for BSJ. The question is, who's he going to give it to?
I think he's going to eat it himself. Oh, the Aghanim Scepter, excuse me. I thought you said Ghost. I bet she's going to give it to Dazzle. Oh, well, there it is right there, that weave. Oh, boy. You're just going to keep farming up. I'd almost give it to Lokarn for the stats as well.
Absolutely not a bad idea, since it is just a buff that's applied. Eat one himself, eat a Moon Shard. BSJ only focused on getting bigger. We do see a Demon Edge in the stash. Now it is going to turn into a Daedalus for the Ember Spirit. They are going to find Roshan for the second time here. Double ult is available on the Tidehunter. Ult up in 8 seconds for the Venomancer. We do have Aghanim's ult available on the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, he's had that for good amount right now, really showing its worth, bringing down Lokarn amongst others in those team fights. So good on Witch Doctor for acquiring that item. Slayer might be in trouble. BSJ just trying to create space right now. I think at this point you kind of just, if you're Astral, you endure and try and capitalize on mistakes. And of course you have the ratting option with these Alchemist illusions that'll just now thaw through things like this tier 2 or tier 3, excuse me.
Absolutely. And I think Astral is very aware of that fact right now. Oh, Lokarn possibly getting caught out here, waiting for the Searing Chains to come out. He does pop the BKB. Is he going to manage to get away? He does TP out. Here comes 42nd. Are they going to be able to bring him down? No. He does manage to get away. He's going to be safe. As I was saying, Astral knows that they're in a good position here. They know that World's End has to end this game very soon before everybody starts falling off, aside from the Ember Spirit, and then they would possibly be relying completely on a Divine Rapier, possibly a double Divine Rapier coming out of Mr. Thinger. BSJ got to be careful here. Does not have Manta available to him for 8 more seconds. It's not going to be enough time for the Ember Spirit to get there to deal any real damage to him.
Oh?
BSJ going to get the Unstable Concoction off, going to bring down costs very quickly.
Oh boy, he's just going to keep picking on him to get Econ, and I think that's a wise choice as well. BSJ starting to snowball. Can't really be killed now without the 5-man.
Slayer falling to the Ember Spirit. Mr. Thinger moving away. Frozen possibly going to fall as well. He's going to try to TP out. He's not going to be able to get there. BSJ taking care of the Venomancer top lane while Ember Spirit takes care of the Dazzle in the jungle. BSJ moving forward, looking to take this tier 3 tower. Buyback is available on the Wind Ranger.
Boy, pushing in bottom lane right now is this Ember Spirit. Both of these two players really carrying their teams right now. Although BSJ is going to catch him out, is it going to be able enough to get the Abyssal down? He has the Aegis, so go ahead, Remnant out. No real harm done. Got a clean hit on the, oh, gonna get his Ags. Who are we gonna see this Ags go to?
BSJ has already eaten a Moonshard. He eats it himself for the extra HP. BSJ sitting at 3,000 health.
Oh boy. That's scary.
Does have another point booster already in the bank, sitting on a 1,900 surplus for buyback. Aegis is going to be reclaimed here in 2 minutes, even though Ember Spirit does manage to get the Bristleback kill. He's not going to be able to fight into this lane.
Oh.
Meanwhile, BSJ getting gone on does get the double ultimate, does get the weave coming out from the Dazzle. BSJ in a lot of trouble. He does have the buyback. He is going to go down. Big kill for Mr. Thinger if he's able to get Slayer and Frozen here. Not looking good. Slayer and BSJ both with buyback. Godlike is going to manage to escape. Still has the Fiend's Grip available to him.
Well, that's both Ravages right now from the Tidehunter. I don't know how successful this is going to be. They do have the Glyph available.
Koss does have his ult available to him. BSJ going to move forward with those illusions. Going to waste the Veil to get rid of those illusions. Lotus Orb coming out of the Bounty Hunter. Going to throw it up onto the Ember Spirit. This could be a lane of racks.
Well, a dieback here for BSJ means good game for Astral. Good shackle right there. Trying to make something happen on Mr. Thinger, bringing him down, but he has the Aegis. Lokarn TPing on the back line, trying to pick him up with the bristles on the back. The Quill Spray not going to be enough. BSJ in trouble right here. Going to go ahead and pop up his ult. Astral going to go ahead and win run.
Oh my goodness.
Focus right now. Slayer going to go ahead and jump on Lokarn with the 42nd, trying to bring him down. Lotus Orb on Koss. This is huge. Is it going to be enough? Really big swing right now in the favor of Astral. Goodness gracious, well-coordinated team fight, waiting for Lokarn just to get back in time to come back on the back lines, really dissemble him right there. Not having those Ravages really not beneficial for World's End, and Astral taking advantage of it. A lot of map presence now, good opportunity to kind of get your wards up, push down some lanes if you need to.
And right there, we saw the incredible ineffectiveness of this World's End lineup, and especially this Ember Spirit without a lot of their abilities present. They really have to take the team fight strong and at the very beginning. Once they get hit with that weave, once he loses the Flame Guard, when they don't have their ultimates up, BSJ just completely runs through them.
Alright, this push is going to mean a lot for them. They know a lot rides on BSJ's life right now, so they're going to go ahead and TP out. BSJ going to go down to the bottom lane to try and push it out while the illusions do as much as they can. Do some damage to that tier 3 tower.
Interesting choice for the Skull Basher pickup coming out of the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit not really a fast right clicker. Interesting to go for the Skull Basher instead of for possibly a Divine Rapier of some kind. I understand the fear of losing it to BSJ, but I think that World's End needs to realize that their window is closing.
As proven by that last team fight. Oh boy. BSJ. Hitting like a Mack truck right now, Lokarn. See, the longer they wait, the longer that these guys come online. Slayer has been silently farming this on the back end. He now has a Data, or a Chrysalis, excuse me, and Blink, so slowly coming online. As we said, World's End's window is closing. Trying to capitalize as they can. Would like to smoke gank right here, try and find somebody out in the jungle.
However, this was immediately spotted out by Astral Authority thanks to that ward right there. Absolutely beautiful placement. Sentry wards littering the mid lane. They do spot out the Venomancer there.
Oh man. Now the question is, do you try with BSJ right now to keep them back by cutting their creep waves, which I personally would. He's doing a great job right now of kind of creating some lane sense, I guess you would say. He's going to try and move around multiple lanes with those illusions. Obviously, one per each lane. You are gifted with the gods of alchemists.
So BSJ currently not sitting on buyback for another 3 minutes. Ember Spirit sitting on no buyback for about 4. I really feel like the fate of this game could hinge on the next Roshan. Obviously, if Ember Spirit's able to take the Aegis, it's a huge bonus for him. Not sure what item there that he wants to drop for the Aegis. Roshan about to be up, will drop Cheese this time as well. That second life is really what's been giving World's End the edge in most of these fights, but as we've seen with the buybacks, Astral has just been able to persevere and outlast the extra life there.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Thinger bought back, did he not? No, he didn't. That's right. He had the, oh, no, he did buy back. 4-minute cooldown here. Both teams at threshold right now, and as Alchemist hits his 6th slot, Ember slowly starts to catch up to him in net worth. It's at the point where the net worth is just so skewed to their 2 carries.
Absolutely. And this is the part of the game where we need to see Lokarn catching back up. As you can see, looking at the net worth chart, we've got Tidehunter, Bounty Hunter, and Venomancer sitting above Lokarn in the net worth. Slayer right underneath the Ember Spirit, but still a far cry away, sitting almost 20,000 gold difference underneath.
I don't know what the next move is here. Obviously, Astral waiting for a window. World's End with the map control. I honestly don't know what the next plan is here for the next 2 teams. I guess let BSJ try and work his way up the lanes with his illusions and see what happens. But
well, one of the issues that we're going to see here is the lack of farm from Astral on the other heroes besides BSJ. Slayer does have a good amount of farm, but right now it's really just not enough in dealing with this other team. It would have been nice to see a possible Orchid out on Slayer deal with shutting down the double Ravage for a little bit, or shutting down that Venomancer ult, or even the Witch Doctor ult. but we're not seeing
Right.
that. We also, no medallion coming out on Frozen to turn into a Solar Crest to give BSJ just that little bit of extra armor in addition to the weave. We do have a Vlad's on Lokarn offering his team that bonus damage aura. Also a Heaven's Halberd looking to stop the Ember Spirit, which is going to become a lot more useful now that he has that Abyssal Blade. No orbs, Lincolns, or
goodness.
Lotus to help BSJ avoid.
Well, looking at this damage output right now of Ember Spirit, it might not matter. He's doing over almost 500 damage a hit with an Abyssal Blade. This means pickoffs are going to be... This is something that they're going to have to really be aware of now. Gaining them even more map control. Just him having the Abyssal Blade really restricts BSJ from moving out. Roshan being spotted out by Paladin right now. Are they going to make a move on it? Trying to steal it. It was snatched! Paladin snatching it. Godlike trying to do what he can with the BKB isn't going to be enough. No 42nd getting stunned multiple times. Godlike in trouble. Just trying to get out right now is BSJ and Frozen. This is a big opportunity right now for World's End. Trying to do what they can. BSJ having a fight. Getting... Oh, man. Buyback available. But still, that was humongous steal right there from Paladin. Again, this player, this stand-in, making a lot of moves, opening it up for World's End. Astral really having to work for it. That was a great team fight right there for World's End. A lot of it happened early. A lot of control happened from Astral early on, it looks like, wrong targets, and that's what they were waiting for the rest of the team to jump in. Looking like Mr. Thinger and Tidehunter going to go ahead and go uphill. Do you buy back or do you give him the racks right now? If you die back right now as BSJ, it's good game, so here we go.
Possible buyback going to come out on the Wind Ranger. Lokarn receiving the weave buff. BSJ just going to throw out the acid spray, and it looks like it's going to cause World's End to back off here. An excellent team fight in the Roche Pit has given them sort of a breath of fresh air here. Astral really need to take stock of what's going on, figure out what they need to do to put the pressure back onto World's End. Really having to play around BSJ's buyback. BSJ possibly needs to look into solely splitting the lanes, allowing, you know, Slayer and Lokarn to crew some farm here. Neither of them six-slotted. Smoke coming out in the back. BSJ moving forward. He's going to pop the Chemical Rage. Just going to take down these Veno wards. We do have a Ravage available on Tidehunter. Venomous Gale available. And the Death Ward available on the Witch Doctor as well. Solar Crest already out on Paladin, really going to help to do some serious damage to the armor of BSJ.
Early avoiding getting caught out. Lokarn. Oh,
Icy with a jump in, blink into the Ravage. 40 seconds coming in with a Venomous Gale as well. BSJ looking like he's going to go down. He pops the Chemical Rage. He gets graved up. Is it going to be enough to keep him alive? He's trying to get back to base. He is going to manage to get back to base in time, but this does look like it might cost them a set of racks, maybe two. Lokarn going down as well. Buybacks coming out of Godlike and Lokarn. It looks like they really want to take this fight. Koss getting hit by the Unstable Concoction. BSJ just going to cut right through him. World's End backing up. Slayer. Oh no! The Lotus Orb actually manages to get Slayer with his own Shackle Shot into BSJ. BSJ moving forward with the Unstable Concoction. Who's he going to throw it on? He does get the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit going to go down as well. Buyback up on him. No Aegis available, or Aegis is going to be reclaimed in a minute. Lokarn moving forward, trying to keep Paladin in place. They really just can't find him. I really do think that that's been a large problem for them as well. You know, the supports are carrying dust, but oftentimes not able to...
There we go. Literally answered you right as you were talking about it. Gem coming out right now for BSJ, buying just all of the wards with all of the econ that he's accrued. Try and go uphill, all three... Oh, no buyback on Tidehunter. You buyback available. And I think I agree with you very big. Supports for World's End just doing a fantastic job of just creating the space. Paladin getting caught out. Oh, no, I lied.
That top tower going to fall. No buyback coming out of the Ember Spirit. They are going to pop the fortification here. Not looking to lose racks. Witch Doctor trying to sneak in a TP. There's the buyback on the Ember Spirit. They're moving out. Koss going to go ahead and throw down the cask into the Death Ward. It is going to take care of Frozen. Is it going to take care of Lokarn? Lokarn turning his back, soaking up most of the damage. He is managing to make enough space for all of his teammates to move out. He does drop that Gem of True Sight, though. Very unfortunate for Astral. No buyback on Frozen or on Lokarn.
Oh boy. This
Godlike
is disastrous
sitting
for
in
Astral
base.
right now.
BSJ moving home as well. Does have Boots of Travel available to him. Are World's End going to push the issue here? Slayer looking like he's going to try to split push. BSJ with the upgraded Boots of Travel. Looks like if they make the push, Slayer is going to try to push into this base. We do have a Tier 3 tower here at half health. Aegis has been reclaimed.
Oh boy, popping the Chem Rage preemptively, knowing that something's about to go down right now. This is pretty big for World's End. BSJ really having to play cautious right here. He gets caught out. This could spell good game for Astral.
Slayer has come back. Throws out the Shackle Shot. Not going to be enough. These barracks are going to fall, and they're just going to move out, possibly onto this, try to move down to the bottom racks. Not quite sure what they plan to do here. Mr. Thinger moving forward. Almost all of Astral is up. They are waiting on Lokarn. Slayer gets the Shackle Shot off. Searing Chains out onto BSJ. Tower's going to fall. BSJ moving forward with the Unstable Concoction. Is he going to be able to get anybody? No. He's going to stun himself. Is this going to be the chance for them to move in? Double Ravage coming in. BSJ, is he going to go down? No. Fiend's Grip out on Mr. Thinger. Grave out onto BSJ. He's trying to get back. Octarine Core doing what it can for him. Is he going to fall? He is going to fall. No. Buyback. Is this going to be GG? Slayer moving back towards the base. Lokarn doing work in the back line, going completely ignored, does manage to bring down the Ember Spirit, who has no buyback. Bounty Hunter buying back immediately, TPing back in is Frozen. Lokarn moving forward with the Gem. Slayer continuing to move forward after 42nd. He does have a blink up in 2 seconds. Slayer waiting in 5. Lokarn just going to move down onto this bottom racks. Paladin doing what he can to save that bottom range barrack, sitting at 29 health.
Oh man, Rafi, what a save by Lokarn. Without that, oh gosh, that was definitely a good game. Good job, great game sense by Lokarn right there. Picking apart the back lines as BSJ was being brought down right there. Holy guacamole. That would be a MVP play right there if they win this. Although BSJ is farming quite well, but gracious. Wow, that was nerve-wracking to watch. I was definitely biting my nails. As Astral, hang on, dear life.
Slayer moving that top tier 3 tower down to 28 HP. One wrong move from World's End, and it's game over for them. Same goes for Astral Authority at this point in time.
Absolutely, we're at the boiling point of this game right now. One pickoff could just turn it. So, looking up right now. Seeing if Paladin and Koss can make anything happen on the Witch Doctor combo. Paladin proving to be extremely potent on that Bounty Hunter pick.
Buyback now available on BSJ.
Ooh, that's big. Meanwhile, we got 3 more minutes for the Ember Spirit buyback. 2 minutes, 45 seconds for Roshan. Oh man, what to do? It's literally it's both teams' game to lose. One misstep, and that's all she wrote. However, World's End with the ability to control the majority of the map.
Smoking up in the mid lane. Not going to be spotted out by anything. BSJ with a little bit of game sense here, moving backwards. This Sentry Ward is possibly going to spot out the smoke here. Are they going to ping it out? They do. They do see the smoke. Slayer in a little bit of trouble, blinking out. Frozen, getting dangerously close. Moving in is Mr. Thinger with the Searing Chains. Just going to get Frozen. They're going to back off here. Possibly wait for Roshan. Still a lot of time on the Roche timer.
Yeah, at this point, why wouldn't you wait for Roshan? I mean, the game's already at the boiling point. SJ pushing out bottom lane.
Double
20
Ravage
seconds.
available.
Mr. Thinger is back, though, at base. Both hard carries, having to wait for their boots. Wow. Keeping that middle lane pushed out. World's End.
Lokarn looking like he's moving into a Shiva's guard with the pickup of that plate mail there.
I think it's a good decision, too. Definitely slow down the attack speed of all of the above. Yeah, I'm looking like we're waiting for the Roshan. Mr. Thinger just cleans up these creep waves. I don't know if you're watching these or not. Literally, it's the battle of the hard carries right now, trying to push out as much as they can. BSJ on top lane, Mr. Thinger on the bottom lane. Really showing up this game, though, is Mr. Thinger. Last game kind of muted on that mid juggernaut, which was kind of an interesting choice in its own. BSJ taking advantage of the space, trying to farm up even more for reasons unknown. Guess you could buy your team more ags.
So we don't have any sentry wards, any dust, or any gems on World's End. We do have the track from the Bounty Hunter. I point this out because Godlike picking up the Glimmer Cape could be very interesting if we have a Glimmer Caped BSJ moving in to initiate.
Absolutely.
Could
even if
be the pick-off
well,
we're
his
looking
Fiend's
for.
Grip has been continued to be shut down would be the Fiend's Grip on Godlike. So I think the Glimmer Cape is both advantageous to both initiating and CC in team fights. Oh, Boss being spotted out by Astral.
Do they think it's the real? No. No ultimates blown. They are going to see that Roshan is up. Roshan going to fall a little faster this time with the Solar Crest on him.
What did that crit just say? He's critting in the thousands, Rob.
He
He
does.
got rid of his boots for this Aegis right now. Looking like they're going to go for a one last hurrah. Going to use his remnants to get back.
An interesting decision. BSJ has 20
That's
seconds
spotted
left
out.
on his boots here.
If that's spotted out by BSJ, this becomes a base race. Not enough able... Without Mr. Thinger, they can't bring down BSJ. He just endures with his Radiance, Octarine Core, and his ult. It's just... Especially in the Acid Spray. Very interesting. What's his time on the buyback as well? Buyback's available. He has 3 shots at this. Sweet potato skins, he hits hard.
BSJ with another Aghanim Scepter. Still sitting at a
Courier.
2,900 gold.
There you go. MKB being traded for Mr. Thinger, getting the Boots of Travel with the Courier right there instead. So, spotting out the fault in his plan. The VO, Mr. Thinger. Lokarn trying to farm up.
Bane now with the Aghanim Scepter from the Alchemist. Upgraded Fiend's Grip. Inflicts more damage, a little bit of mana drain, and inflicts the highest level of, or Bane's current level of Nightmare on the target as well.
Yeah, that's huge. I love that. But at the same time, they haven't really been right-clicking him. It's going to be interesting to see. Looking like we're going to see a push right here with the Aegis. Oh, Courier being on the back lines with those Boots of Travel for Mr. Thinger if he needs to get out. Yes, Shay. Oh, Godlike. Oh, wait, spot out that Lotus Orb, cancel that Fiend's Grip. Ooh.
I see jumping in. Is he going to use his Refresher Orb? Lokarn moving forward, looking like he wants to take most of this damage. He does pop the Refresher Orb. When are we going to see this next Ravage? No Venomous Gale coming out quite yet, nor a Death Ward. Moving forward, Searing Chains. Is Icy going to Ravage? He does get hexed up. 420 popping the ult. BSJ moving forward. Death Ward doing its work, but BSJ managing to heal through it. Does get the grave. Lokarn going down on the back lines. Gem hits the deck. Mr. Thinger goes down. Pops the Aegis. He's coming back up. BSJ sitting at half health. Chemical Rage looking like it's going to expire. BSJ still moving forward. Needs some help. Frozen trying to provide what assistance he can. Shallow Grave coming out. Buyback coming off of Lokarn. BSJ falls as well. Immediate buyback out of him. Ice gets nightmared up. BSJ TPing back into the fight. He has the Unstable Concoction. Doesn't need it. 420 is going to go down. BSJ just going to stun himself up. Paladin and Mr. Thinger on the retreat. Ice looks like he manages to get out as well. Not a great fight for Astral. Paladin moving away.
It will take tier 3 and some damage. Boss laying the groundwork here.
Godlike moving in. Oh no, is he just going to feed his life away to Mr. Thinger? It looks like it. TPing in is Paladin as well. Not sure what Godlike was thinking there. No buyback on him. BSJ moving in with the Unstable Concoction. He's going to throw. No. BSJ stuns himself back up. Mr. Thinger already moved away from the fight. Paladin. Koss moving away. Is he going to go down and going to get spotted out by the power shot? BSJ moving forward. He's just going to go through him like a hot knife through butter. Mr. Thinger moving back into the jungle. Sitting with 10,000 gold in the bank.
Oh man, Ember now top net worth over BSJ's Alchemist. Farming up those heroes where BSJ doesn't necessarily have the opportunity to do that. Looking like they're going to counter push knowing that the Witch Doctor is down. No buybacks available for BSJ or Lokarn, it looks like. Player does have a buyback.
Medallion
Looking to push uphill.
finally out on the Dazzle. No Ravage available for 30 seconds. Weave up on BSJ. BSJ just looking like they're going to want to try to slice through.
Uh-oh. BSJ waiting for the courier to drop an item off. Got his BKB. He's looking to fight this one out.
BSJ getting low. Going down to all the hits from Mr. Thinger. BSJ really got to get something going here. Got to get a kill or something, or at least get out. BSJ in a lot of trouble here. Frozen, no grave for 4 seconds. BSJ is going to go down. He's down for 123 seconds. Are these going to be GGs coming out from Astral Authority? Immediate buyback from Frozen. Mr. Thinger moving forward. Roche not up for another 5 minutes. Are they going to be able to hold? And is World's End going to go for the throne?
Well, Astral does have the lineup to defend against Megas, so if they just keep World's End to getting their racks alone, won't technically lose, but we'll be fighting uphill from there on out.
Slayer
Astral
moving forward. Godlike jumping in. Fiend's Grip done away with. Nightmares himself up, saves himself a little bit of time. Slayer moving backwards. Look like they're just going to go for the throne. Ravage is up on the Tidehunter. No double Ravage. Slayer trying to take care of Paladin. Slayer dropping down quickly. Is hexed up. Takes the Venomous Gale. And that's a GG
right from Astral.
out of BSJ.
Oh boy. World's End showing them they got what it takes to play.
So Astral Authority finally dropping their first game here in the JDL. This stand-in doing a lot of work here for World's End.
Boy.
And I really do think it was the Bounty Hunter.
I agree fully. That stand-in did really well.
Really picked up a lot where JC Dota in the first game lacked a lot. Really did a good job of helping to shut down Frozen, as we can see, sitting here at 0-9. Just managed to get his medallion right towards the end of an hour-long game. They really managed to pin down the 5 position, while Godlike did do a good job. They really needed that Dazzle to do a little bit better. Lokarn sitting there at 5-14 got shut down pretty well in the beginning of the game. Really needed Lokarn to come back with some type of a vengeance. We needed a heart or some more tank coming out of that bristleback to deal with all of the damage output.
Absolutely. Well, good, clean victory right there by World's End, drawing it out a little bit longer than the first game, you could say. Really going the mile right there with Mr. Thinger at the helm, playing an impressive game as Ember Spirit. That's two impressive Ember Spirit games back to back, one for each team. So it was a great pleasure to watch both matches.
All right, folks. Well, this is the end of our cast for today. And if you want to check out more of Astral Authority's games, formerly known as Team Stratus, you can find it all here at twitch.tv/Elon Rafi. Tapes, thank you for joining me today. Hope to see you again next time.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here.